Well, good afternoon. Well, this is going to be the third YouTube, and I can't say that this is going to be like the best YouTube, but it is going to be a YouTube. And so I have several subjects to talk about. So what I've been noticing is when I go outside, things are changing. And I mean in a way that you are like, looking at the clouds, looking at the stars, and I'm like focusing on seeing them. But what I've noticed is when I'm looking at items now or clouds or anything that's kind of alive, there's like 4D effect. And so first I was like, am I really seeing this? Is this really showing itself? And so if you have an image and then there's another image above it, it looks like it's the same image, but it's more higher, and it looks like it's coming in like this, like a wave effect. That's a 4D. And I kept thinking something's off here, but it's not. It is actually 4D. So I kept asking Spirit. They're like, just look at it, just pay attention to it, and just confirm it. So as you're looking at things, paying attention to what's happening outside, you're starting to see things change and how your vision looks at them. So if you can see things in the 3D and pay attention to the 3D, that's fine. You're going to see it in that image that it is, and this 3D effect. But 4D, brighter colors, elusive energy, it feels like it's expanding. So I knew something was going to change. I just didn't know when it was going to change, but it has changed. So, and if you go outside or even in your house or in the sun and you're seeing it, you're not crazy. That is really happening. The energy is changing. The frequency is changing. It almost feels like things are submerging and then going back to their regular balance, back and forth. But it has to do with adjusting your mindset to acceptance. So I just feel, it was something that was really hitting me hard. And it's just like spirits, when you're a medium, you see spirits come in very loosely and very in a simple state, and it mirrors in with the walls and the colors of the walls. Well, this kind of is doing the same thing, but it's in everything. It's not a spirit, it's an energy, and it's showing you a different vision. So what my advice to you is to stay in it, look at it, focus on it, and get used to it. Because at that point, when you accept it, then more things are going to come, and you'll be ready for a lot more changes in your life. So, we're so used to holding on to something that's solid and thinking, this has got to be an illusion. Well, yeah, that's what teachers would say, but scientists would say, but that's not the truth. So I kind of wanted to talk to you about, confirming from 3D, confirm 3D, confirming that that's 3D, confirming that that's 4D. So there's two processes, and they do cross each other, and you're seeing certain illusions in the sky that you think there's no way this could be happening. So if someone sees something in the sky, they're like, well, I just see this craft. And so we're thinking comes into our dimension, and it presents itself. It's the way it wants to. Well, sometimes we're just catching a glimpse on another timeline and interpretation, but we're trying to put it in our perception in the 3D. So sometimes you need to step outside the box and just accept it for what it is, and just go, I'm just going to sit in this. And whatever it is, I'm going to accept it and just watch and learn from it. I'm not going to try to change it. I'm just going to learn from it. And so our body and our spirit, work together as one. Not that they always cooperate in the same frequency. And I teach people a lot when I give them lessons for my classes and stuff like that, that this right here in the middle of your gut is the second instinct that you have that's reliable source, spirit. And sometimes we get sucked into what someone else says or that person says, and we don't listen to this. We need to go back to listening to this. This does not lie. It tells you the truth. So at the millisecond that angle is off, if you're watching a show or you're watching a program or it doesn't feel right or doesn't reside in you, just back up and go a different direction. Think and process information on your own. This is the best determination of the truth and the false, is this gut instinct. So stick to your own intuition, stick to your gut instinct on things. And I know with spirit, when something's not for you, it feels like it replays the same timeline over and over and over and over. And you don't learn anything from it. You're just more confused by hearing the same thing, same source, same information, same source, same information. You're not going to get anything from it. You won't get anything from it. Because this is telling you you're not going to. And we like to be in sync with society in the way it's going. But that's not the way it is. You got to listen to this first. So when I get into a situation, this is an example for myself. Now, I'm either going to learn from it or I'm going to back away from it. And I'm going to know within 3 minutes that it's going to be just completely done and over with. So when energy is good for me, when I need to learn something from energy or around someone else that's giving information, it'll feel enlightened. It'll feel nurtured from the brain. You'll feel just close to it, and just excited. But if it's not for you, it puts a weight on you. It's dreary. It's heavy. It's exhausting. Step away from it. Because I think some of us get into the point that we just listen to the whole thing and something will come out of it. No. In the first 3 minutes, if it doesn't come out of it, step away from it. You're not going to learn from it. So, and that's where I teach, instinct and follow the gut. The raw information is the best information. So what I have to tell you, I get a lot of complaints right now that's going on. Everybody's confused. Everything's shared the same way. Nothing new is coming in. Yeah. True. It's so true. Because nothing is coming in. Nothing. So back up. Pull your energy back. Do something enlightening. Don't get sucked into it. Back away from it. Go outside. Play with your dogs. Play with your kids. Stay away from it. And that's like, there's just always a presence, a heavy energy on your right side that you feel that it's just pulling you down all the time. And that's not going to work for you. It's just going to make you feel more heavier. And if an energy or a person's energy and you're feeling enriched by it, feeling good by it, and it feels just enlightened, you want it. It feels good. You learn something from it. Those are the two sources. And if you're not getting that from either, step away, listen to the instinct. So that's just something that I wanted to mention. Another thing that I want to talk about is tools that Spirit gives you, okay? As you start on your journey, and most of us that do have the experience because we've been doing this before we were here, and I mean in a way of I remember interpreting information from a different language, information, downloading. I just knew it, in a different way. And that's why I didn't kind of connect at a young age with people, because I knew that my agenda was different. And I call it spiritual boot camp. They put you through, and they keep putting incidents in front of you to learn from them. Those people have been doing this for a long time. They've been working with spirit a long time. And so if you start to see people that you've never seen before, all of a sudden they're spiritually enlightened and they're teachers, and if they have like 2 to 5 years experience, no, I'm sorry, no. Spirit says no. They don't have the experience to teach yet. They don't have the experience to know things yet. And I'll tell you why and how you can interpret that. Verification follows the documentation. So if you're going to predict something, if you're going to know this, and if Spirit is give this to you, you got to have some type of verification, documenting it, trail of this information before all of it comes down to the prediction. And most of us that have been doing this for a long time has those information you can access on our websites or whatever. We'll show you how much work we do. Something that comes out of the blue, no documentation, no experience, self-proclaimed, it doesn't work. It won't work. It doesn't work with Spirit, because Spirit doesn't work like that. Yes, you can waken up and walk into your energy and do all that and find that enrichment. Yes, completely. Do that. But definitely do not look for a teacher, so-called teacher, that doesn't have the experience. And I'll tell you why. You do not open doors you cannot shut, because you leave emotional people behind, and you're opening people in this spiritual experience. They're asking to be led through the door. And if you get them to the door and then you don't have the answers for them, you need to lead them to a new path or a person that does have the answers. Don't leave them hanging. That does so much harm to the spiritual being inside. Don't do that to them. So I get a lot of emails on, want to know about pendulums, I want to know about cards, want to know about tarot cards, and I'm going to be honest with you. So I think when you begin your spiritual adventure, I kind of like looked at them. I thought, those are interesting. I just don't know. And I played with them a little bit. But you use cards as you start. It's no way and no form can it predict world events. You only have 50 answers, and then the biggest deck, 75. It's just incapable. Sorry. So those are training tools to get you to your potential. Once you've gotten to that potential, you'll notice those accurate card readers, they are actually not even looking at the card anymore. They're actually reading, and it's just a starting point, okay? And then it goes into an avenue. Well, when they move to a level, they realize they don't need the cards anymore whatsoever, because they've outgrown it. They advance, they trust Spirit more, they're getting their intuition in a stronger sense through them. The message is coming faster. So now they grow and develop. So yes, those work on a beginner's level. They do not work on an advanced level. They do not work on understanding world events. Or it's just everybody knows in the field. They don't use them for that. The accurate mediums, remote viewers, psychics, they don't use those, okay? And I've been around hundreds of them, and I know the difference. So this information might be hard to understand, but they are starter tools. Do not depend on that information, because you only got 50 answers and 50 cards. If you're going, relationships and you throw a card out there, that's fine. But beyond that, and you advance spiritually, you're not going to need them. So then you deal with the remote viewing, the mediumship, the automatic writing, all kinds of interpretation. You're putting your risk out there for this information to come in. Okay, so you have to risk your interpretation, your reputation. Say, I have to 100% trust spirit in this information. If they're not risking anything, they're not trusting. Because there's days that I go, I'm putting everything on the line to be right about this remote viewing case or where this artifact is in the ground. You start from one level of intuitiveness, psychicness, mediumship, and you keep advancing. You don't stay in a circle in one realm with it. So what I'm saying is, if you're interested and you're waking up, cards are good to start with. But on the long run, it's not going to be something that is going to be reliable for bigger situations or, finding a missing persons, or those cards are not going to have the answers. So like I said, people that have been doing this for years, you'll see that they're not using cards anymore. They have the intuition down. They know they've been advanced for a long time. They know that their information is accurate. Pay attention to those, because those are the true teachers that teach that, and their documentation follows the truth. So somebody on here is not going to take it lightly, because I'm not downing the cards. I'm saying they're good for training. They're good for beginning, but they are not good to advance through this spiritual path. You grow and change. And I have gotten to a point where I'll get to something I know very strongly with, and then like mediumship. Yeah, I can do mediumship. Yeah, I'm good at it. But the point is, after you get to a certain level, you've learned that whole process. You keep going to another advancement, because it's always a path you keep going on. You don't stay in one realm and stay at that one level. That would drive us crazy just to stay. Oh, that's where you're staying. It's like, no, I had to advance. And not only that, all of us, I don't care what level it is, we always want something to grow from and critique it, but make it better and figure out what we need to advance in, no matter what level you're at. You have to always keep learning. You always have to keep advancing, and you always have to stay true to spirit. And this is the thing I tell everybody: I cannot be bought or sold on my path with spirit. That is why I'm here. That is why I'm here to do a job. That is why I'm here to open people to the truth. But I cannot say someone comes in and says, I'll offer you this amount of money if you ever do this again. It doesn't work. Because we're true to that path that we came here to do, and we're going to stay on that path. So I cannot be compromised in that way. And I trust spirit 100% when they put me in a situation. You always have to stay true to them. And so you're going to see, I say the word, balance, consistency on those levels. We don't change once spirit tells us the information. We keep going on that same path, whether what stone is thrown at us or whatever. We don't do that. We stay on that steady path until that situation is done, until the results of that reading or that case is done. Then all the truth falls out, and we see where we're right and where we're wrong. And trust me, I do not like being wrong, because I don't like to waste people's time on any level. So I want people to go through their spiritual experience, but I also want them to have a good experience, and I don't want people to confuse them. and I don't want people to lie to them. So you have to listen to your instinct that tells you exactly who you need to get your information from, and to make sure that they have enough experience and they do know what they're doing. The best thing that you can do is test them. And I have that in my book, How You Do That, on testing psychics and mediums. It's in my book, Walking in Humble Spirit. It's on Amazon too. So it's more of a manual for advancement and getting on your path. So that's the thing I kind of wanted to see and feel, that people were getting frustrated and annoyed and didn't know where to go, and feel like they're misled. And the thing that they need to do is start listening to their instinct and opening up. And then if you're going on a path that you think you need to go into a program or buy this or work in that field of spirituality, make sure your teacher can back up their documentation. Make sure they have the training they say they have. It's very important, because this can open you or it can shut you down fast. And I've seen it both ways. So listen to your instinct, stay strong in that. So if there's anything else I had on here, I'm looking at. So listen to the truth, listen to the gut instinct, and on that end of everything. It's just when I get a lot of information in my head, I'm like, which word is next? So I want people to understand that, mainly my work is all serious. It's not that light side of things. It's serious stuff, and I put a lot of time and effort into it. And that's why I'm a serious remote viewer. I'm a serious writer. I'm a serious on a lot of this stuff. It's not a joke. It's a very serious, when you put information out there and it's not true, it's not good. And then another person has to fix that situation. So it's not fair to them either. So if you're looking for books, if you're looking for spiritual information, I could lead you in that. You can message me on here, or you can message me on Instagram. If I don't have the information, I'll lead you to the person that does. That's the whole thing, to get you going on your path and not having some blockage stop it and you feel frustrated. So I kind of wanted to come on there and talk to you and go over these issues that I think we're presently dealing with. And everybody interprets information at a different level and a different understanding, and I get that. And that's why I do teaching one-on-one and not in a big classroom setting. Each person's at a different level. So I just want to tell you, stay in the light, stay focused, meditate, stay outside, and don't stress out too much. God bless. Good night.